Tough trucks, production vehicles highly modified for brutal off-road competition. Racing Chicago style in the Buckeye State, where the difference between victory and shame is determined by fractions of a second. It may appear to the casual viewer that these trucks look just like they came out of a junkyard, when in fact, they're carefully engineered racing machines. The Tough trucks are set to go in Ohio, coming up next. These, ladies and gentlemen, are called Tough trucks, the modified category of Tough trucks. The 16 qualified trucks will be featured here today on this special ESPN2 Speedworld coverage of the Summit Truck Style Jamboree Nationals from Canfield, Ohio. Hello again, everyone. I'm Ted Jones, standing between two of the top stars in the division. This is Chris McCoy. This is Rick Armbrust. But believe me, any of these guys are capable of winning at any time. As we said, 16 of them will be racing, but a little bit differently than you've seen before. You see, what they'll be doing is lining up 180 degrees opposite each other. The idea is to run around the course and complete the course quicker than your competitor did, something they call Chicago style. Now, for a closer look at Tough trucks and a talk with last year's defending champion from Indianapolis, let's check in with Doc Riley.
Thanks, Ted. You know, right now in the heat of a points battle, and lots of guys are pulling out all the stops. It's kind of unusual. The Mosier Engineering ride right here, the On the Edge ride, used to be a Bronco. Rory Campbell, right in the middle of things, has unveiled a brand new truck. I got to tell you, it is spectacular looking. Can it run?
We're getting the bugs worked out of it. Yeah, it's got potential.
Last year you had the Bronco. Why kind of the make and model and the body change?
It was all up to Mosier Engineering. You know, we started out building the Bronco, and they said, you know, we like the new body style, and we decided to go with that. And I think it was a good choice.
I think it is too. It looks sharp, and it does kind of fit your hard charging style. Last year, second in points. Right now, you're down to the hole a little bit. Can you kind of make up some ground?
Yeah, I think so. You know, first time a week ago in Bluesburg, we had some bugs worked out, steering problems, and now we got nose over problem, but we're going to let it, I think we'll get her figured out.
Rory Campbell looking to make it happen here as we get set for the 16 truck elimination finals. These are modified Tough trucks.
All right, thank you very much, Doc. Let's take a look at the Chicago style racing. What you have are two start and finish lines. Both trucks will be jumping over little mounds of dirt. The idea is to get back to your starting mound before the other guy does. As you can see right here, they're actually kind of chasing one another. And we'll get ready to get started right now. Joining me in the booth, our expert analyst, Griff Allen, as Bobby Brown gets ready to start out of the Sunshine State.
All the way up from Florida to compete here. He's working on a new setup for this truck, so it's going to be tough to see. The General Lee, a crowd favorite, and Jeff Diedick putting the power down. Watch the front end plow, and it's all about getting control, putting the horsepower down. As you see a little bit of sky, a little correction there from Bobby Brown as he tries to get back on track. Having a little trouble, but he gathers it up and continues.
That's going to cost him the General Lee, hitting those mounds of dirt straight on. Oh, problems right now for Brown as he slows to a halt. The General Lee, your winner, with an elapsed time of 27.09 seconds. Now in replay, you're on board with the General Lee. Take a ride in a Tough truck.
Now, even though these trucks have huge suspension travel, it's still quite a beating on the drivers. You got to be very physically fit to take all the punishment. You can even see that you can get away with turning before you start the jumps.
Doc's with our winner.
Tell me a little bit about that past run.
It was a good run. I didn't feel my motor was 100% up to snuff, but it might have been helping me keep the tires on the ground and keeping them hooked up and not blowing them loose.
Horsepower or handling?
It's a lot of handling. I'm trying to keep it slower around the corners and keeping it tight and less ground to make up the time.
Thank you very much, Doc. Our next pair coming up, Eric Huebel, the always broke entry out of Hobart, Indiana, will be taking on the favorite here, Rick Armbrust, and the awesome Rancho truck. You see him in the corner of your screen.
Rick, a two-time champion in the past. You see him now as he's got the chassis well set up, handling the corners very well, putting the power down very effectively. Just a little bit of tailspin as he comes out of the corner. In the meantime, Eric Huebel, who used to race stock, decided the modified guys were having too much fun. He said, hey, let me in on that. So here he is racing modified. He's trying to dial it in. not quite up to the speed of Armbrust, but that will come with the experience that Armbrust has.
Armbrust picks up the win with a 27.86 elapsed time. Take another look at it right now. Cleanly over the mound, way ahead of Huebel.
Canfield, Ohio. You're sitting here with a smile on your face. We're moving into the next round. Tell me a little bit about the run that you just had.
Well, it felt pretty good. My time didn't reflect what I thought I had, but the corners are a little tough. One corner is real loose with gravel, and the other corner you can get a little bit of a bite on it. So it's just being able to judge how to get in and out of the turns.
Coming up next, Jack Yankjack will be taking on Colin Dorshimer, the no boundaries entry.
Colin actually fourth in points. He celebrated his first win the last time out in the event coming up into Canfield. So pretty happy about that. Carries the Race Against Drugs banner, so putting good word out there. Jack Yanchak actually trying to fight for traction here as he struggles to find the racing line. Close one as we're watching two drivers executing their final turn at just about the same time, looking for a line call in this close racing as look how wild we get.
Sideways completely, into the concrete barrier, but he wins it with a 27.81. What a driving job. He really stood on it, got that thing airborne, and then launched a little sideways, came down, nearly went over. Take another look at it from another angle.
You know, if you gotta win, you gotta think right foot, not the brake. That is how you do it. Take one more look from the side.
Tough situation right here as the tire pops off the bead right now. They're going to water the track in between the rounds, so you may have a little bit of time to get this taken care of.
I hope so. It just popped off the bead. I got a little crossed up on the jump. Nothing major. The boys got it under control.
Well, our next pair coming up, Gary McIver, the bits and pieces out of Newcastle, Indiana, will be going against Raymond Scholes. Look at Scholes up there in the upper right-hand corner of your screen.
Scholes, part of Twisted Motorsports, one of the strong family efforts that you will see in this sport. And family is actually what this is all about. You walk around the pits and paddock here, and that's what you're going to see. Father and son and brother and sister. Gary McIver out of Newcastle actually having a very up and down season, kind of erratic, looking to find some consistency. Is he going to find it here?
Boy, here comes another one of those wild finishes by Ray Scholes, 30.39, a little off the pace of the other ETs turned in by the other competitors. But hey, it'll get him into the next round. Here's the way they'll pair up. And bear in mind, we had a 16-truck field, so this is only the top half of the ladder. We'll have the bottom half coming up after we take a break. 8 more tough trucks ready to go next. This ESPN2 Speedworld coverage of the modified tough trucks from Canfield, Ohio is brought to you by ARP, manufacturer of aerospace quality fasteners, and by Comp Cams, the choice of the motorsports professional. We're back in Canfield as we continue our coverage of the modified tough trucks. Scott Musselman will be our next competitor, going against Roger Cardot.
Scott Musselman actually lucky to be here, just making the bump, qualifying number 15, not really having an on season, so he will struggle.
Whoa, over he went, Musselman struggling, all right, Griff. Look at everything beginning to fall out of that truck. Well, that's why they call them tough trucks.
In fact, and that speaks to the safety of these trucks, as Roger Cardot in Bubba is simply going to walk his way into advancing.
You have to wonder what Cardot thought as he came around that corner and saw that truck turned over on its side. By the way, a 26-second elapsed time. Now, we're happy to report the driver's getting out of the truck unscathed. Let's take a look at what happened one more time.
Up on the bicycle, the sidewall's bit, and basically you're doing a cartwheel. And look at that roll cage do its job, as well as the helmet, the padding, as well as the roll cage. Safety priority number 1 here when you're going fast.
Unspent energy uncoils, and that's the result.
We got a word here with Scott Musselman right quick as he takes a little bit of a tumble right there. Hey, man, you all right, first of all?
Yep, I'm fine.
What happened?
Just hooked on the hard stuff and flipped her over.
Your truck has always been a really good handling truck, and it's cornered very, very well here. Just kind of catch up on you a little bit, or did you just kind of find something?
Yep, just come out wide, and I got in the hard stuff and hooked fast and went over.
Well, again, you can see all the safety stuff taking place right there, and he'll be back to race another day. He's fine, and he'll come back to rock and roll another day.
And as Adam Armbrust goes to the starting line, Doc has a question for Roger Cardot.
I know you're a tough competitor, but that's not the way you want to move on to another round.
Not at all. This Summit Truck Style Bubba is really on a run the last 2 weeks that we've been racing. And that's the second time a yellow truck has rolled over and run against me. And that's not what I want. I hate to see that happen to people.
You know, you look at it, when you come around there, you're very focused on racing. You're making the corner. You're thinking about all the different things that you've got to go, accelerator, on the brakes, stabbing it, working the wheel right there. What kind of goes through your mind when you make that corner and you see a truck flipped on its side?
You automatically back out of it, and the worst thing you want to see is an official running around on a track. And I was really concerned. I saw the guy, he knew enough to get out of my way, because part of it, you're also trying to get a good time, but so long as you're safe and you don't hit anybody, you back out of it and ease on through the course. So you sacrifice a good run to move for the next pairings of lane choice.
And here comes another heavy hitter, Roy Campbell. You met him earlier in the show with Doc. Will be going against Adam Armbrust, the Dynamax entry.
Rory with the brand new truck making a very strong debut. Adam Armbrust actually just finished high school, so this young gun, hard charging, sure to follow in the Armbrust family footsteps. Looking at screen on screen, you can see both competitors very close. So although we have number 7 and 10 qualifiers matched up here, we've got a good one towards the finish line, Ted.
Who will be the last one to jump over their mound of dirt? It's Adam Armbrust, the teenager, 27.63 seconds. That's the way to start tough truck racing.
Rory Campbell in the Moser Engineering debut, the Ford Ranger, teething problems he broke.
Boy, it's got to feel good anytime you can get by Rory Campbell there. It's a situation where you got to love it, but I know you guys are very, very tough competitors. He's got a lot of experience.
Yeah, this is only my second year racing. You know, this Dynamax Ford, we put a new engine in it this year, and she's running great. I was really nervous about my first round having to race Rory in the new Moser Engineering machine, but we got her. Team Armbrust going there, so we'll keep going.
Well, Roy Campbell is out. He's one of the favorites. Here comes Todd Lockwood out of Butler, Pennsylvania. Can he stop Chris McCoy in the back attack? Well, upsets could happen.
McCoy is going to be tough to beat because he won the first 2 events this season. He missed Bloomsburg. He's the number 2 qualifier at both events this season, and so far qualifying number 3, the worst he's done. Todd Lockwood, a new face this year, so we're going to see what he can prove as that AMSOIL machine does quite a dance.
Wow, almost turned that AMSOIL machine over, really pushing hard, trying to take out the favored Mack Attack. And here we go to the finish line. No, he couldn't do it. Chris McCoy, the Mack Attack, 27.33 seconds.
You miss 1 week on the campaign trail, you come back out, and it doesn't look like you've missed a beat at all.
Well, we're trying not to. It's a really fast track, and just trying to get a handle on it. They just watered it down, and it was a little slicker than I expected, so we slowed down from our qualifying time. So I don't know, get the first round under our belts now, and hopefully settle down and try to pick the pace up a little bit.
Up next will be Thomas White, the Twister 2 from Fayetteville, North Carolina. His opponent, Eric 4 in the Nemesis.
Twister 2, a big family effort. This gives you a good chance to see a short wheelbase truck compared to one with a little bit longer. Now, the whole key to success here in tough trucks is to set up the rebound rate of your shock absorbers and your spring. So the trick is to make the truck not dance or sky, but you put the horsepower down. It's a delicate balance. It's sort of a black art. Some people have dialed it in, and some people struggle with it.
Well, one of them that's dialed it in is Eric 4, as he'll pick up the victory on this one over the final wrap, 27.94 seconds, elapsed time for Eric. That concludes the first round of competition. The crowd loves it.
You know, we talked about guys debuting some new machines, and the Nemesis ride's got a new look to it, some new hardware, and some new sponsors in there. Congratulations, man. Nice run in that round.
Thanks. I'd like to thank Randy's Ring and Pinion and AMSOIL and Special Events for having us out here.
I tell you, it's we talked to a couple of guys. Lane choice going to play a part into this, or are they kind of just a pick 'em?
There is a better lane, but the turns, whoever gets the turns down best is going to probably prevail.
So that'll wind up the second half of our field right here. The bottom half of the ladder you'll see as we go into round number 2. 8 tough trucks remaining. Only one of the major heavy hitters has been upset. And a reminder to you as we go to break, for all the latest news and notes from the world of motorsports, visit rpm.espn.com. We'll be back with more after this.
You want real people.
You're watching modified tough truck action from the Canfield Fairgrounds in Canfield, Ohio. Ted Jones, Griff Allen, and Doc Riley here with you as we go into round number 2 with Rick Armbrust, who will be going against Jeff Diedick and the General Lee. 2 heavy hitters here, Griff.
Not just 2 heavy hitters, but 2 crowd favorites. Here, we've not even come to the finals, and we've got the audience having to choose sides. 2 veterans got paired up here. Both good examples of how to handle a truck up until I eat my words as Rick Armbrust struggles with the machine. Did that cost him the win?
It could indeed. The General Lee hasn't made a mistake yet. Does he have enough horsepower to get back to his start-finish line first? Indeed he does. Jeff Diedick, 27.99. Armbrust goes down to defeat, and here's what caused it.
Armbrust actually opened up a lead, and he blew it once he lost control.
Boy, I tell you, that was a close race. Looked like he got a little crossed up.
Yeah, I got real crossed up. Jeff was a fast qualifier. I pushed too hard. I knew I was going to have to be on the throttle, and I hit a slick spot out there. They've been trying to keep the dust down on the track, and it just changes every pass. I got a little crossed up.
Indeed he did. Now here's Ray Scholes, and he's just sitting there. A problem. Colin Dorshemer is already started the run.
Apparently Scholes can put power down. Is he pulling off course? Dorsheimer's taking the course. Business as usual. Now he's off the pace.
Well, he sees what's happened. He understands that he's out there all by himself. Why risk breaking something on your truck? And that's very easily done right here, going over these with any speed or power. So he'll just kind of take it easy, feel it out. I'm sure the ET will not be representative of a win, but hey, he doesn't care. He gets to go to the next round with a 33-second elapsed time.
Sorry about that, Doc. I'm not sure what happened there. We rolled up there to the line, and he looked over and gave me a wave, a finger. And then I looked down there, and I see him leave. I wasn't even ready. I had no clue what was going on there. So there wasn't no sense in taking off half track.
So he didn't break something, just some sort of a misdirection, I guess. Anyway, Adam Armbrust will be up next. He'll be going against Roger Cardos, another tough pairing here, the Dynamax truck, and Bubba, who's a crowd favorite.
Now, it's not that Adam doesn't know how to race. He got handed the win as you look at Bubba hanging the back end out, lining it up beautifully. That is wisdom and experience for you. As you see Adam dance the truck just a little bit, and on the nose, he gathers it back up. He's got it in his blood. Can he just get it done to the line first?
Adam almost put the truck on its roof. Here we go down to the finish. Yes, it'll be Roger Cardos, the Bubba truck, 26.14 seconds. Mac Attack is next.
Fastest lap in eliminations. I tell you what, you have found it, and you continue to find it. Nice job.
Thanks, Doc. You know, it's been 2 years since we won a race. I think one of the last races we won was here in Canfield. And this Summit Truck Style Bubba, JW Motorsports Racing Engines, Valley Tire, and Just Bronco Graveyard put this truck back here where it is. It's been a long time.
And our next pair coming up right now, Eric Ford, the Nemesis, against Chris McCoy and that dreaded Mac Attack, who's the favorite once again.
Once again, we see long wheelbase, short wheelbase. Who's going to handle better? The long wheelbase trucks tend to get the power down a little bit better. However, the short wheelbase trucks tend to be a little bit more nimble, but just like you see there, they tend to get upset a little bit more. Longer wheelbase, a little bit more forgiving, but a little more sluggish around the corners.
Speaking of the corners, 4 went too wide. That's all that McCoy needed. He's your winner with a 26.33. Here's the way they'll pair up in the semifinal round. Now, listen into this as we go to break.
Yeah, Grief, he's running an old 79 Ford. At least it's a Ford, but he's tough. He's tough. He shaved his head, so he had this tough Bubba image, and it's working for him, ain't it?
Well, I was going so fast, the hair just blew right out. That's just what it is.
I got to tell you something. Good-looking guys got bigger faces. That's maybe the last word there from Roger Cardos. But I'll tell you one thing. These guys, really, the whole crew of them, get together, have a lot of fun. You can see where they joke around right now. But once the bucket goes on and the green light falls, it's all about racing.
Coverage of the modified tough trucks from Canfield, Ohio is brought to you by Moroso Performance Products, race proven. And by United Specialties, home of the Trendsetter. Semi-final action coming up now. Only 4 tough trucks remain. Colin Dorshemer and the No Boundaries against Jeff Diedick and the General Lee, the favored truck.
In fact, and when you are the favored truck, there's a phenomenal amount of pressure to please the crowd. You can see Jeff executing the turn before he starts the jump, handling the truck pretty well. A little bit of a snowplow there. Is that going to cost him? At the same time, Colin Dorsheimer dancing the back end of the truck around, struggling for traction there. Close finish, Ted.
Indeed it will be. Let's take a look at it right now. Looks like the General Lee may have it just by a nose as they go down to the final. Yes, the General Lee, 28.68 seconds. One of the best races we've seen, and the crowd appreciates that.
Your thoughts going into this last race of the weekend?
I'm going to have to push it as hard as I can because the engine's starting to slowly go away on me. I feel it worse and worse every time, and then the times are progressively going back. So I just got to put it down and give it what it has.
Boy, this one is anybody's race. The Mac Attack, Chris McCoy up against Roger Cardutt, the Bubba Truck. The Bubba Truck, the crowd favorite, but Mac Attack is plenty tough.
You know, this is going to be a tough one to call, Ted. As we look picture in picture, a great way to watch Chicago-style racing. You can see them both taking different techniques around the corner. You can see Bubba actually swinging the back end around a little bit more, but the Mac Attack prefers to track through a little bit straighter. Lots of wheel spin.
Indeed he is. Bubba's spinning on that corner. That could cost him. Oh, it's going to go right down to the wire. You call it, folks. Yeah, Chris McCoy, 27.57 seconds. What a close finish that was.
Roger just does such a heck of a job, and so does Jeff. Jeff's going to be super tough. He's really coming into his own now. He's getting really smooth. It's going to be a really good race. I'm really trying hard. I lost a real close friend this week, and we really want to dedicate it to Michelle Shirt.
Well, the final comes up now. You heard what he said. He knows this is going to be plenty tough. Here comes Chris McCoy off the line, but General Lee, Jeff Diedick is right there with him.
Now, even though Jeff said that he has an ailing engine, it doesn't seem to be giving him a whole lot of trouble now. As you watch, they both execute the first turn at about the same time. You can look back to see McCoy in it for personal reasons as well. He's looking for win number 3 this season. This is going to be a nail-biter, both of them in the final turn at about the same time.
Here they go across the finish line. Who's it going to be? Yeah, Mac Attack. Great, a lap time, 27:28. Take a look, and you're going to ride on board with Jeff Diedick and the General Lee.
Jeff Diedick in the upper right-hand corner, but McCoy is actually on full screen, and you can sort of gauge where they are relative to one another as you now see picture in picture. This one, all the way around, Ted, was door handle to door handle, side by side.
What a great final we had here today in Canfield, Ohio. Watching work up there, Diedick working hard as he goes across the finish line.
And in the upper right-hand corner, you can see how gentle the General Lee's suspension works, and I think he wonders who won. It was that close.
1 and 2 finish again for the 3rd time this season.
I'm amazed. I'm amazed. The competition, the trucks, the people.